Unbelievable. A massive storm is getting its act together. Will be affecting parts of the plains and the Midwest with blizzard like conditions, some heavy snow, and behind it, some bitterly cold temperatures. Now, as that cold air clashes with the warm, moist air, the Gulf Coast and then the mid Atlantic, looking at severe weather and possible tornadoes starting this afternoon, and the Pacific Northwest, seeing lots of snow and even possibly an ice storm. And then that's going to be followed by another storm that may bring ice and snow to the south. Let's jump in. I want to start with my forecast. This is the forecast for where I live, and this gives you an idea of what people in the Midwest are going to be going through. So I don't think I can even read this. There's too many words. But just to know that we have a winter storm warning starting tonight with heavy snow overnight. And then the winds will be increasing, blowing that snow around by morning with a chance for blizzard-like conditions. A low of 5, tomorrow's high 8. Snow likely at least in the morning, blowing around. Then a wind chill advisory. Temperatures go below 0 and don't get back above 0 until Tuesday. Wind chill warnings in effect. I think the coldest temperature will be Sunday morning. Air temperature minus 20. Wind chills minus 30 to minus 40. That's what we're looking at into Tuesday, where I live here in western Iowa. Here is the rest of the country and what the National Weather Service is warning for all around. This is today. So here's what's happening today. So it looks like Portland, Oregon, the Willamette Valley, you're looking at a possibility of some snow. So we're looking at a winter storm watch. It looks like there. We've got winter storm warnings for the Cascades of Oregon and Washington into eastern Oregon. More snow for south central Oregon into the Sierra Nevada of California, continuing in California. Freeze warnings going on. Even winter weather advisory and a winter storm warning for a small part of California there. And lots of wind. That's what all that brown is. Into the Four Corners, we're looking at Arizona and New Mexico with the winter weather advisories. More wind for Arizona and New Mexico and Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Georgia, and around the fringes, a few other states I could name. Move back up to the Pacific Northwest, moving inland. We have blizzard warnings for southern Idaho, winter storm warnings for pretty much the rest of the state, winter storm warnings in Montana, and also winter weather advisories. Our big storm forming right now in the plains, or will be soon. We have winter storm watches, winter storm warnings, and winter weather advisories further off to the west. But it's a lot. I didn't mean to leave you out, East Coast. Look at all those rivers that have flood watches and warnings, flood warnings mostly. Rivers in Mississippi, all across the south and all up the East Coast. And then we have a flood watch for Massachusetts into Connecticut as well. I'm telling you, it's massive. So let's go through the GFS and see what we have going on. This is the 11th. That's today. 18Z. This is noon. And noon is in 50 minutes. I'm recording on the 11th at 11:10 in the morning. At least right now it is. I don't know how much of your time I've wasted so far. Let's see. 4 minutes. Okay, we're 4 minutes in. So we're starting to see our storm form here in New Mexico, Colorado border, with some snow already starting here. And then another storm up in the Pacific Northwest. Heavy snows coming down in the Cascades and Olympic Mountains. And lighter snow into Montana. Some light snow around the lakes. So let's move it forward. And our storm forming right here. So this is 3 o'clock tonight, overnight, 3 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, I guess. So snow and heavy snow from Illinois back into Iowa, back in Nebraska and parts of Kansas. And we've got scattered snows through the Intermountain West, heavy snow for the Oregon Cascades, rain along the coast, and then rain, thunderstorms and rain through Illinois, back into Arkansas, and back into East Texas. So this are storms, and you see these isobars very tight together. That means there's a big pressure change in a short amount of space or a short amount of distance. And nature is always trying to equalize pressure. So when you see isobars close together like this, that means wind. So there's going to be a lot of wind with a lot of snow. As we move it forward, let's get to, this is 6 o'clock in the evening. Storm is already moving out of Iowa now. Very strong winds and snow in Illinois and Wisconsin and Michigan. Rain from Ohio on south. And we have a severe weather threat from these storms too. So let me back up. So to see these storms down here in the south, in Mississippi and Alabama, Tennessee, we could see some strong to severe storms, possibility of some tornadoes as well. And that threat moves into the mid-Atlantic as we get into the day tomorrow. And a blizzard, basically, or blizzard-like conditions at least, going on in Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. And starting to snow and heavy snow in New York and northern Pennsylvania. And then that storm exits with a lot of rain and thunderstorms and some severe storms, and hanging on in Michigan as the storm finally gets out of there. And then the storm in the Pacific Northwest, let me back up a couple frames, because you see this color here, the reds and the pinks, that's an ice storm for the Portland, Oregon area and the Willamette Valley. This is at noon on Saturday. So your snow changing to ice, and then lots of snow for the Cascades in eastern Oregon into Nevada and Idaho. Heavy rain along the coast for California and for Oregon. But look out for a possible ice storm in the Portland area on Saturday. Then the Pacific low is strong enough that it's going to push that cold air back to the other side of the state. So it'll scour out that cold air, and your ice storm's going to end, and it's going to turn to just rain or go away. And then we see our next storm forming. This is the 14th, the morning of the 14th on Sunday, and cold air pouring into the Midwest and the plains. And I'll show you those temperatures here too. But I want you to watch this storm. So snowing in Oklahoma and Arkansas and Missouri and Kansas, it's on the light side. And then you see some ice busting out in parts of Texas. This is 6 p.m. on Sunday night. And then a little bit more ice for Texas, snow to the north of that for Oklahoma, Arkansas, etc. More ice as we get into, that's heavy ice right there. It doesn't take a lot of ice to accumulate to cause dangerous driving conditions, and then you get a little bit more ice. Possibly you start taking down power lines, that sort of thing. Something to watch out for. This is Monday morning, 6 a.m., getting into Louisiana, definitely East Texas. Let's see how far south this goes. So Shreveport, look out. And then snow north of that in Arkansas and Mississippi. Some of this ice getting into Mississippi. What is that? Vicksburg around there, probably, something like that. And then the ice goes away. Well, it's still scattered into central Louisiana and further south in Mississippi. And you see the light snow coming down in Tennessee. So this is a southern storm. We're getting into Tuesday the 16th now. Ice in Mississippi to Alabama, pretty far south in Louisiana, and light snow north of that, and the cold air pressing south. Remember, the 540 line is our freezing line, and that's south of Midland, Odessa there, and heading into Austin. Meanwhile, snow for Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, etc., and still a little bit of ice hanging on into Alabama and Mississippi. Now, this is Tuesday, actually Monday at midnight. So we're starting to get a little far away, to say for certainty this is exactly what's going to happen. But these are the trends to watch. And this cold air continues to pour into the center of the country, spreading east. This storm, wherever it forms and whatever form it takes, possible ice and snow for the south. And then it lifts. And you see more ice in North Carolina, something to watch out for. And then finally, maybe another real snowstorm along the coast this time as we get into New England and the East Coast. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Let's take a closer look at that severe weather. This is this afternoon into tomorrow. So we're looking at the bullseye for the enhanced risk would be basically Texarkana, well, the Arklatex, and then a bigger area around that for a slight chance of severe, and then the marginal in the dark green around that. So that's where the risk is. Now, what about tornadoes? Because there will be a chance for some tornadoes, and that 10% is the yellow with the hatched area, so could be a particularly dangerous situation. That same area where we have the enhanced risks for severe storms. So really all modes of severe weather possible here, damaging winds, large hail, possible tornadoes. Your 5% gets into much of Louisiana and a little bit further into Texas and encompasses most of Arkansas and a little bit of Oklahoma. And then your 2% risk even gets into Mississippi. So that's today. What about tomorrow into Saturday? We've got a large area where we could see severe weather from Mississippi all the way up to North Carolina. The enhanced risk from Alabama through Georgia and South Carolina, a little bit of North Carolina as well. And the tornado risk for Friday into Saturday is a large area. You know, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina are the places to look out for your 10% risk. And your 5% risk is northern half of Florida, most of Mississippi, a little bit of Louisiana, and all the way up into North Carolina. So if you live in any of those areas in the South, you know, do pay attention to your weather. Stay tuned and stay glued. You know, if you see anything threatening, well, you know what to do. Just watch the weather guy on TV or listen to your NOAA weather radio. All right. So the cold air pouring in behind the storm. So these are Sunday morning lows, or 6 a.m. temperatures, really. 6 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Eastern. We have negative teens in Iowa and a large part of Nebraska, negative 20s. For South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, these are actual air temperatures. Negative single digits in Minnesota and also into Illinois and Missouri and Kansas and a little bit of northern Indiana. And then you get above zero, but not much, from Ohio even into Kentucky, single digits, down into Oklahoma, and 20 degrees for Lubbock, Texas, 27, Midland, Odessa, 15 in Amarillo, and that cold air spreading south. I think that's 28 for Austin. So yeah, cold. How cold will it be for the Iowa caucus? Well, they're saying it could be the coldest Iowa caucus in history, and here's why. Remember I showed you this map day before yesterday, and the warmest temperature was 0. Well, on this map now, the warmest temperature is -1 for Burlington, but these minus temperatures have gone down. So the prediction is for even colder than we were talking about 2 days ago. So Denison, just north of where I live, -11 at caucus time. This is 6 p.m. Monday the 15th. Caucus starts at 7. So Waterloo -14, Dubuque -11, Des Moines -9. Every one of these 99 counties is going to hold their own caucus. In Shelby County, we have our caucus location here. And I'm involved in that, so I'm looking forward to it. And I'm hoping that there's still a good turnout. You know, Midwesterners are hardy folk. And even though this is very cold, my understanding is it got this cold a couple years ago for a time. And this is maybe not every winter does it get this cold for this extended of a period, but it's not that uncommon. It's wintertime. January in the Midwest, but this storm is going to have far-reaching effects, as you can see. A lot of wind, severe weather southeast into the mid-Atlantic, ice maybe for Portland, heavy snow for the Pacific Northwest, heavy snow for the plains into the Midwest, blizzard-like conditions, if not actual blizzard, and also then brutal temperatures and wind chills affecting much of the country. Wow. Wow. That's my update for today. Tomorrow, we're bound to have blizzard-like conditions right here at my house. So if that's the case, I will bring some of that to you. I'll think about doing live, but for sure I'll get some footage. You might see me die on camera, but then who would post it? Okay, never mind. I'll have an update tomorrow. Should be fun. Thanks for tuning in to The Weather Mike. Like and subscribe, please.